Hi Sheila, this is Wendy Nixon. I really appreciated your post about lower income communities having a higher need for mental health services. I guess as you mentioned, students in this population can be at higher risk for issues like dropping out of school or incarceration, drug and alcohol use. So I also live in a community that has a fairly high percentage of lower socioeconomic status families. And because of this, some special programs have been developed. The mental health clinic that I work at, about 75% of the clientele is lower income families. I know sometimes that can't be, sometimes that may not be representative of the population, but in this case it does seem to accurately reflect the community at large. So I have actually worked in a school-based program to provide mental health services to targeting especially lower income families, because a lot of times parents can't afford to take off work to drive children to therapy appointments. They struggle with more survival and meeting basic needs. So this program was developed in our community several years ago, and it does seem to be working fairly well, to reach this population that would normally not have access to services. But I do agree that caseloads can be high, and I have experienced that at times. And I really think it's important to collaborate with other professionals, paraprofessionals in the community to help children, like school counselors, teachers, mentors, and that this can help fill a gap. I have had some mixed response with school counselors. Some of them have been really receptive to receiving this kind of service, and some have been, I guess, a little territorial that, they're the school counselor, and so, who am I to come in and provide a service? So at times there has been a little struggle with that. So, and I know I also wanted to mention that the Kakuma et al. Article that we read, I was just really amazed about describing the effectiveness of primary care providers, also providing mental health services, and this is kind of task shifting, providing two services. And the case study from Sri Lanka was the most amazing, about how they created the one-year program for a diploma in psychiatry and creating medical officers of mental health to provide psychiatric services where there were absolutely none. So that was pretty amazing. Also, I know being a rural community can sometimes be a barrier to receiving mental health services, and my community also struggles with that. There can be long distances to drive to and from appointments. I know one time I was doing in-home therapy at an adoption agency, and some of my clients, that I went to see in-home were an hour and a half one way, and so this special program, I went to the client to help, so they wouldn't have that kind of a drive time. So, and lastly, I did find an article by Jensen and Mendenhall that, of course, confirmed all of this, that they found that, documented that there were considerable disparities in mental health in rural communities, and offer suggestions of things like telehealth, which actually in my community is pretty common, and collaboration with existing structures, which was one of the key points in the Kakuma et al. Article. And really, this article offers that clinicians and researchers are really uniquely positioned to identify challenges for provision of services and suggest, joining with other disciplines to help create innovative solutions. So thank you so much, Sheila, for your post. Bye.